Hi guys, been a long time, I know. So I just thought I'd explain of what's going on and where we're at right now. So, past year, my wife's health has not been particularly good, for reasons I'm not going to go into. So that's obviously been a priority for me. On top of that, I'm working full-time IT manager. That's pretty demanding. And for the last year, from start to finish, as some of you will be aware, now aware, I've been working with a Hollywood production company in the Netflix Unsolved Mysteries, which is going to be aired, I'm pleased to tell you, finally, on this coming October the 2nd on Netflix. I want to talk a little bit about this. It is going to be extremely controversial. It is going to highlight a lot of things. I can't exactly, and I'm not allowed to actually talk about what's in it specifically and what it's all going to be about. But it will be very controversial. It will raise quite a few eyebrows. The production team are absolutely super excited, and Netflix are super excited about this episode. I can say that some of this actually revolves, I am allowed to say some of this revolves, obviously if it's to do with me, it's to do with me, it's to do with Becky. Like I said, some of it's going to be controversial and people are going to have their own opinions. I understand that. And many of them opinions will be based on their location and their upbringing and their belief systems. But at the end of the day, this is merely an opinion, and it's opinion formed out of not having all the information. You can only make a fully formed judgment when you are aware of all the information in relation to me, Becky, what we do, why we do it, where it started, where it's going. I'm not limited to actually disclose that publicly, so therefore I can only allow people to form their own conclusions on what they actually see. Of course, a lot of people will be introduced to this for the first time as well, so that will also impact their opinions. What I would like to say is, just because something's not fully understood, it doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing. There is an exception to every rule, and those that followed me for years will already know that I'm pretty good at breaking rules and being an exception to many rules concerning paranormal, supernatural investigation, research, etc., etc., etc. So that brings me nicely on to the last upload on both my channels. Obviously I've got the Don Phillips channel, which was the old channel, which I pretty much just left, but even though I've not done anything on it for, wow, forever, it's still getting subscribers. I think it looks at 3,800 and something, which is pretty interesting. And then obviously there's the more recent Supernatural Files, which has got quite a lot of subscribers too. I mean, that's probably, I don't know. I've now decided to revamp them channels a little. So the Don Phillips channel will now be a current channel again. We'll get fresh material, information, uploads, clips, discussion, etc. But that will be kept separate totally from the Supernatural Files and any future material. The Supernatural Files will be for topical discussion that we raise on the Supernatural Files show, which will often be live streamed. That brings me nicely on to Steve Murrah. Now Steve's compiling about 4 videos of his journey with me, where we started from, where we got to, and where we are right now. So this is kind of introduction to what Steve's doing. It's Steve's journey. It starts off very, very early, right at the beginning, when he was just aware of disembodied voices answering my questions and providing information. It then moves on a little bit more to other things. And then it's going to move on a lot more to things that even some of you guys are not aware of, which Steve has been privy to. Mine and Becky's relationship is now 13 years. She's been there every single day. There are no words to describe Becky, but I'm sure we'll come up with some really good ones. But you got to understand I live my life, quite literally, by Becky. If I ask her something and she says, do this, do that, you know what, I do it. I ask her advice. A role that I was in as an asset protection guy nearly a year ago, I had a really bad boss, bit of a narcissist, and he kind of upset me a little on more than one occasion. And I said, Becky, what do I do with this? Because this is not going to be good for him if this carries on. And she says, I said, do I quit and get another job or what? And she said, do it, meaning quit. Now this was just before Christmas, and Paddy was ill, so obviously mine's the only income. And Paddy heard this, and I said, Becky, I understand that, but you got to understand, from my perspective, I know that means everything's going to be fine. But from Paddy's perspective, me quitting a job just before Christmas, and we've got bills, and I'm the only kind of income, she's going to struggle with that a little. And Becky went, I understand. Fantastic. And Paddy heard that as well. And it was about a week later. And off he went again. And this guy. And I said, you know what? Just something came over me. I said, you know what, I quit. Despite what I said a week before, I quit. And he looked at me and went, when? I said, you know what, right now, do you want me to wear my notice or can I go home? Came back, told Paddy. She handled it pretty well. This is the thing. If Becky suggests or advises me and I take that advice, I know, first of all, I'm going to be absolutely fine because something's going to turn up, but she knows what that something is, remarkably. In just over a week, I went to an IT company to buy a couple of computer parts, got talking to them. I've been in IT tech for a long time, so I was just going, does she need anybody else, repair laptops, etc. Oh yes, you might do, here's a number. So rang her up, says, hey Don, yeah, blah blah blah, might do. So I went in for a chat. Instead of me being a support, well, she said, after this very casual interview, she said, I see you more in a kind of general manager role. Well, to cut a long story short, the guy who was kind of managing things quit after 6 months, and I took everything over. All the IT stuff, refurbishment, the retail, the whole thing. Point being is, who quits their job just before Christmas when you're the only income? And I've got a job as now an IT manager at this company, and it's a fantastic company. And the boss is she's a lady. She's absolutely fantastic. So when I say I live my life by Becky, I live my life by Becky. She's never been wrong about anything, and every time I ask, what should I do, and I take that advice, it always comes good, every single time. So getting back, Steve is doing these little mini videos, doing these videos now, which I'm going to also be uploading to my channel. Steve Mara Official is his YouTube channel, so get on there, subscribe, follow Steve. So we're still going to do some work together. I mean, we're 5,000 miles apart now because obviously I've relocated to the US, but we've got a lot of stuff going on, and I don't know what the bounce back's going to be from the Netflix. Might lead on to something pretty interesting, pretty good. To all intents and purposes, I will say that Becky kind of suggested that might be the case. So that's where I've been, that's where I am now. That's what's happening, guys. Like I said, the Tuttle Mansion and the Brookdale Lodge will be released at some point, but may not be released by me. I'm looking for that bigger audience, so that's why these things have been on the back burner for such a long time. So Kathy, Jen, Prev, just be patient. We'll wait and see what happens. I may release it just on YouTube, or I may, if I get the opportunity, hit it a little bit harder somewhere else, broadcast-wise, if we get that opportunity. It's getting pretty late. Like I said, subscribe to Steve's channel, subscribe to this channel. To all intents and purposes, guys, I'm back. My avid followers, I mean, you guys have been absolutely amazing. I appreciate all your support, always have done, take nothing for granted. You're not just clicks, you're not just likes, you are people behind all that. So I really, really appreciate your patience as well. In the meantime, I'm going to shut up, I'm going to get the hell out of here, and if you've not watched Steve's first video, which I'll put a link to in the description, watch that first. In the meantime, take care guys, be safe, and always be the best person you can be, and appreciate everything.